We begin today on the latest on immigration reform. We know that a lot has been happening over on Capitol Hill. Here to kind of fill us in on what's been happening, what we can expect to happen is immigration attorney Patricia Castorena, who's been helping a lot of nonprofits in the area and has her own law practice. Now, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, tell us first of all about opening your own practice, because we know that you helped a lot of nonprofits before. You work with nonprofits, and now you're spreading your wings.
Yes, I have. I opened my practice in April of 2012. Previously, I worked with the Center for Employment Training as a legal services manager, and prior to that with Asian Law Alliance doing immigration work. And I truly value the experience I had in those organizations because they've helped me do the work that I do now, which is to continue educating and helping the immigrant community.
That's good. Well, let me show you a clip, because this is, I think, the image that everyone gets when we talk about immigration reform. And unfortunately, this is that image. It's the enforcement part of it. But there's a lot more when it comes to immigration, a lot more than these images we're seeing here.
Right. And unfortunately, when individuals come within the deportation system, there are avenues to assist them in immigration court. Prior to that, it's extremely important that they become knowledgeable about their eligibility for an immigration benefit, seeking the assistance of a nonprofit organization, accredited agency that can help them determine if they qualify for a benefit, and also to seek the assistance of a private attorney when they choose to and when matters are complicated and they need one.
Well, now, something happened within the last week that is good news for those trying to seek legalization. Tell us what happened.
Yes. This new benefit, it's a change in a process, and it was actually announced a year ago. It did not take effect until January 2nd, and it actually does not take effect until March 4th in terms of the application process. But it has now been established that it is a rule in the Federal Register, and it is called the Provisional Unlawful Presence Waiver. What that does is benefit immediate relatives of U.S. citizens so that they can reduce the time they spent outside of the country when they initiate the consular process. If a U.S. citizen spouse petitions his wife, he or she will unfortunately have to leave the country, and at that time will trigger a 10-year bar. This new process will allow that spouse to ask for a pardon here in this country prior to leaving the United States to attend their consular interview in, let's say, Ciudad Juarez if they are from Mexico. It is a wonderful benefit because it reduces the time that families are separated.
Because who would want to leave this country and wait however long you said you have to wait and then hope that you're able to come back?
Absolutely. There are individuals that prior to this new initiative were not filing applications to petition their spouses or children because of the uncertainty and the wait time in, let's say, Ciudad Juarez, for example. The wait time could be 3 months to a year. There are also strict requirements for the hardship waiver that must be met and established before it's approved.
So you don't know if you're going to come back or not.
Exactly. And so
I mean, there's a lot to discuss. These questions can be answered by Patricia Castorena. There is the web address and the phone number for more information. We'll be back and talk more about deferred action and how maybe you can help a loved one. Stay with us. We're back here on Comunidad del Valle talking with immigration attorney Patty Castorena. Now, deferred action, I mean, it was a big deal last year when it was initiated.
Yes.
What benefits have we seen from that so far?
To date, immigration has received over 355,000 applications. There are an estimated 1.8 million undocumented students in this country who qualify for this benefit. It is important to continue spreading the word about deferred action. To date, they have approved over 100,000 petitions, and many more are still pending. This benefit is a temporary reprieve from deportation, but it does allow the student age 15 to 30 to qualify for a work permit, and with that work permit, they're able to get their social security number and their driver license, which is a huge relief for many undocumented youth who need those kinds of services that we take for granted.
Well, but is there a fear there? Because if this is only temporary, is there a fear that once you're in the system, now they can go back and look at you 4 years down the road and say, okay, you were a deferred action student, now, sorry, your time's up?
USCIS has clearly indicated that they will not share an applicant's information with ICE, and that is a protection. Immigration is looking at whether the person presents a public safety concern, if they have a criminal history, association with gangs or terrorist organizations. They will take that into consideration when deciding whether to send that case to ICE. If an applicant does not present any of those issues and otherwise meets the criteria for deferred action, they will undergo a process that will hopefully lead to an approval.
Boy, a lot of students are happy that this has gone through. Anything else coming down the pike that you see out of Washington, D.C.? I mean, I think if there is a year for overall comprehensive immigration reform, this is it. This is the year.
Yes, the November elections thankfully sent a message to the United States that the Latino vote is very powerful, and that message resonated very strongly with the Republican Party. And the Obama administration has indicated that immigration reform is a top priority. It remains to be seen with the fiscal cliff discussions as well as gun violence, whether immigration reform will take a back burner. That is a job of advocates and pretty much everyone in this country who feels that immigration reform should be a top issue to continue that advocacy and civic engagement, to continue pressing the issue.
Because it's always taken a backseat. I mean,
yes.
Back before 9/11, I remember George Bush meeting with Vicente Fox, and they met at the ranch, and they said, we're going to start immigration reform. And then 9/11 hit, and then it was blown out of the water.
The political climate now is such that something needs to be done. I think everyone agrees on a national, state, and local level that this issue needs to be addressed. And the 4 years Obama is in office will go by fast. And the next presidential election will be before us it will be here pretty soon, and it will be very important for everyone to take a look at what they've done to address this issue.
Now's the time to do it.
Exactly.
All right. Any final thoughts while we show your information again on the screen, Patty?
One important reminder to the immigrant community is to seek the assistance of an accredited agency or legal representative when getting immigration advice. It is extremely important that notarios or immigration consultants not be consulted with to get proper legal advice. There are many agencies that are willing to help, and there are many different benefits available now with deferred action, this new provisional unlawful presence waiver. It's important to be educated, so seek assistance.
All right, thank you very much, Patty Castorena, an immigration attorney here, has her own practice in the city of San Jose. Up next, here on Comunidad del Valle, our exclusive interview with Lupe Ontiveros. All right.